Well, welcome once again to Face to Face with Rockosaurus. Today we are going very much international. We are speaking to Anton Schindler from Collision Course, all the way from Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada. Welcome, Anton. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, you?
Yeah, not so bad. Not so bad. It's great to speak to you, mate. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
Now, Collision Course, not very well known in the UK, I have to
yeah,
say.
yeah.
Seems like you're making waves over, across the pond there, though. Now, tell us where is the band at the moment? What's happening with you guys?
Yeah, so we're in Vancouver primarily, and we just did like our debut music video release and all that. And our bassist is from the UK, so we figured we would, try to promote it a bit where you guys are at and stuff because you guys tend to have better taste in rock, anyways. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Flattery
So
will get you everywhere.
yeah, yeah. So we've been doing that and all that, and I used to be from a small town like in northern British Columbia, and then I moved the band down here and found the current members and all that. So yeah, just working our
Excellent.
way around there.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the genesis of the band, how you all came together?
Yeah, so I we did like a Western Canada tour and all that when I lived up north, and we were a three-piece, just kind of a grunge band, and we would do a whole bunch of covers, and then I was the only one that really wanted to move and take things like to the next level, go to the big city, pursue, good old rock and roll cliche. Um, and then, so I moved down south to Vancouver, and then I was kind of stagnant for a bit. I was trying to find new people. I put out ads and all that, and I couldn't find anyone. So for a while there, I was playing bass in a metal band for some reason, and
Oh,
and
not getting
then
it to work.
yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but I'm not much like I like watching metal, but I'm not much of a metal guy myself, like when I'm playing, just because like I don't know, bass is cool and all, not my thing. I'm a singer. But yeah, no, and then so Jeff was the first to respond to an ad aside from we had a guy named Rob and a guy named Adam playing guitar and bass for a bit, and they were really good and really nice. And I'm still friends with them and all that. And we were trying to find a drummer just to do a practice with because I think like 2 days later we had a guy that was going to be our drummer. So we like booked this guy and we are like, oh, fuck it. We'll just book this guy so we can use him for a practice and then be on our way, and then he just blew us away and was nuts. He's real technical and real good because like he used to do a lot of jazz stuff. So and he still uses jazz grip when I've seen him play metal and stuff. It's kind of weird, but yeah, no. And then TJ was the next to come, and he's our bassist from the UK, and he's just played kind of here and there a bit, and was looking to get into bass again more so. And then he came along, and then Brad, our lead guitarist, he was on a trip. I think it was like in Peru when I first put the ad out. So I just kept getting this weird dude that's like, I'm not in Canada, but when I come back, you're auditioning me. Like, just kept harassing me. And I kept auditioning other people. And I was like, yeah, man, I think I found somebody. He's like, no, just wait one more week. And then, yeah, he came in and just shredded. Like, one of the best guitarists I've met. And he's pretty crazy. Used to play in like thrash bands and stuff. So,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, it works out.
absolutely. Yeah, I guess you just know when the magic is there, don't you?
Oh
It's
yeah.
yeah.
I like to think I'm not that good of a guitar player, and I like to think singing's my thing, but I just think I like to work hard is my thing, and I've met a lot of more talented musicians, and I think I just lucked out, and you just gotta find people who are willing to work hard when they're good musicians, right? So
Absolutely. Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, at the end of the day, you only get anywhere from hard work, don't you? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
nothing comes easy.
Yeah, not at all. And a lot of people think that unfortunately that everything will just I've met a lot of guys, they're insane musicians, like crazy. Like the I've jammed with a few people and they just blow me away. But their whole ideals are just, oh yeah, producer and a record label representative are just gonna walk up to our jam space in our garage and sign us and hand us everything, and that doesn't necessarily work that way.
Sadly not. Sadly not.
Oh god, there'd be a lot more rock stars if it did. Yeah.
Yeah, of course there would. Of course there would. We'd all want to be one. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I understand you won a Whammy award for best rock band. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the Whammies, so perhaps you'd like to tell us a bit about them. And yeah.
Yeah. So it's a local award ran by Suna and Sam, and Suna owns most of the rehearsal places in town and stuff. And they normally, when there's not COVID going on, hold a whole bunch of gigs and stuff, and really try to focus on like helping artists around here. And same with Sam. They're pretty new, but they're into helping artists develop and really just try to bring the music community together and all that. And they do a competition once a year, and it's just they have stuff like best local rock band, best singer, best drummer, best pop band. So it's kind of like that, and it's just a big award thing. And we happened to win a couple. We won one for best rock, and I won best singer, which we were really pumped about. It was our first kind of bigger award, and it was nice because we hadn't been in Vancouver for, I don't even think, a year when we won it. So it was pretty good.
That's quite an achievement then. Yeah.
Came in and kicked some ass, I guess. So
brilliant. Good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff. Because what is the COVID situation over there? I mean, we know what it's like in the UK and Europe, and obviously in the States with the Orange Goblin sort of screwing everything up. But apart from that,
I mean, he's going to be gone soon. But yeah,
but let's see if they can prize his ass out of the White House, of course.
Yeah. Oh God, I hope so. But yeah, no, it's kind of weird. Like the first big wave of it, everybody was hoarding toilet paper and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and emptying out the grocery stores and really freaking out. Everybody's pretty good about wearing masks, which is nice. There have been some protests right downtown, some big ones, but that's where all the Trump supporters kind of show up too.
Yeah.
Right. But I actually just went grocery shopping before this, and everybody's starting to freak out again. So the grocery stores are a bit of panic because they're handling it by the different region in Canada now is what they updated it to. And Vancouver is actually getting pretty bad as opposed to the rest of British Columbia. And so, yeah, I was just there, and it's kind of chaos again. But now we're not supposed to have anyone like in our houses or any social gatherings for the next 2 weeks, and then they're going to play it from there. But they still haven't closed down bars and restaurants. I work at a restaurant, and like I love working and all that, but I really think they should close down bars and restaurants and going out.
Well, absolutely. I mean, because we've gone into a second national lockdown now. I mean, they were doing it on a regional basis, but it just wasn't working.
Exactly.
We're in a full lockdown. It's not quite as restrictive as it was in the first one, but it's but all bars, all pubs and restaurants are all shut now.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it should be, right? Like it's food service. It's people touching and making food for other people. That's you get one slip up and there's a big outbreak,
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer, really. How's it affected you guys musically? I mean, are you still able to sort of work on stuff together, albeit remotely?
It's been quite remote and pretty brutal, if we're honest, just because like we've all had stuff going on aside from COVID. My guitarist is currently in Ontario, so he's all the way across the country helping out with a family situation until I think December, so that's kind of cut the writing. And then my bassist, he's trying to get a permanent residency, which is a pain in the ass to say the least. But yeah, no, so we've been writing kind of separately and showing each other stuff. And I think with COVID, like there's not going to be live shows for a while. We've been offered a couple, and it's on a smaller scale, but I don't think bands should be doing it quite yet. With that, like and everybody's putting up plexiglass between the stage and the crowd. That's great, but I don't want to feel like a fish in an aquarium, you know?
You're not. No.
Yeah. And we're doing a live like acoustic show that's being live streamed on November 28th, which is pretty nice considering our full band isn't here, right? So we were able to do a nice little acoustic one. And then hopefully I don't know when shows are going to start up again, but our last show was March 13th. So it's been pretty rough, and we lucked out because that was on the Friday was our show, and the Saturday was when they restricted gatherings and they banned gatherings over 50.
Yeah,
and it was a big venue, so we really lucked out, and we were happy that nobody got sick too, right? But yeah, no, it's definitely made it a bit hard, but luckily we're like doing releases and stuff right now too, so we can really focus on the business side of things, which isn't as fun, but it can keep things moving until we get to the point, because we're hoping like once things clear up and there's a vaccine and everybody's getting all healthy, we're hoping to actually go on a tour and stuff, and we're hoping to do an album. So yeah,
absolutely. I mean, have you got any plans to cross the water over this way?
Yep. Yeah, we're hoping so. Because the UK, Australia, and Germany have been digging our music, which is a pleasant surprise, and I'm pretty pumped about it. So yeah, no, we've never done anything like that. As I said, we've done a Western Canada tour, but that was with different bandmates, kind of different vibe then too. So I think touring, like I was sleeping in a van for a month, but it was the best month of my life, you know?
Yeah.
So if I could do that while also, seeing the world a bit more, like I've been overseas, but only to Spain, and I think it'd be awesome to see like Germany, UK, anywhere around there too, because you guys are all so close together with the countries. It's great.
Well, absolutely. But of course, the big difference if you're doing a UK tour, you'll be amazed, because it's going to take you no time at all to get from one venue to another, because we're such a small island, For you guys, it's a big territory. You've got a lot of distance to cover, haven't you, just to get from one place to another.
Yeah, I remember on tour, I drove 10 hours once to another town, right? And that's not the funnest.
If you drove 10 hours here, you'd end up in the sea,
Yeah. Exactly, right? So, yeah, and you guys seem to appreciate rock a lot more in Europe, so.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Germany's a particularly vibrant scene as well,
Oh, sweet.
Even more so, dare I say it, in the UK. But I've been over there a couple of times. The audiences there is something else, absolutely.
Yeah.
Incredible. But you'll love it over there, and they'll love you over there as well. So put that on the bucket list. Yeah.
No, I'm pumped too, because we're like Vancouver's really close to the States, right? Like we're an hour and a half away from Seattle, but with visas and stuff, it's really hard to work out. And the US market's the hardest to break out. Like it's pretty critical at times. Yeah. And then also the whole country's kind of burning on fire right now. So
a little bit.
Yeah. They're doing their thing, hopefully it rides out, and I hope things end up better. But bit scary when you're wanting to go on tour and stuff, right? But
sure. Yeah. Well, things can only get better, can't they?
Yeah.
It's true. You like to see me.
So, you mentioned, you want to get an album out there. I know it's difficult putting a timescale on that at the moment, but where are you as far as the actual writing of the songs and this sort of thing? Is it you getting that?
Yeah, writing, we're pretty good. I'd say we're 75% of the way there. Like if you count like pre-production and stuff like that, like we really got to go in and be precise and evaluate our songs and really go through it and bring it up to par with, like, we just released a single and then we have a couple more right? So we already have those ones, and those are finished. But then the other songs that we would want to put on the album, we would have to go through and kind of dissect a bit and kind of kill our how do they say it? Kill our babies.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were chatting to Attic Theory the other day, one of the things that came up was basically, they want to go into the studio with the songs ready to go, and what they've written is what they do in the studio, rather than go into the studio and faff about wasting studio time, which is money.
Yeah.
Working on the songs in the studio, which is very important. I mean, studio time is not cheap. I'm certainly over here, it probably isn't over there. Huh?
No, not at all. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's important to go in and be precise and know what you want. And it's always good to throw in, like, if you have extra gear at the studio that you weren't used to before, to really hit in and be like, okay, we got this type of mic that makes this cool noise or something like that. But I don't feel like you should be switching the structure or anything like that. Like, you need to do that before, and you need to be solid on it, or else you're going to be blowing an extra $5,000 on one song for no reason.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, polish before you go, basically.
Yeah, not everybody's tool and gets to sit in the studio for 10 years. So,
nah, come on.
Yeah, no, but
nobody's that wealthy anymore.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, and I think it's going to be a while before that happens again, especially in rock and roll. But oh well.
Yeah. Well, the business model itself has changed so much, hasn't it? With streaming services and all that.
No, it's completely different. It's transformed probably 10 times over, right? Because it went from CDs to, okay, now radio's a bit more back and all this, and now it's what was it, Napster, like all the pirating and stuff like that going on, and then now it's all the streaming. And yeah, exactly.
Spotify. You get absolutely sort of all from
oh yeah.
So.
No, it's pretty bad with how much they pay the artists. But well, that's kind of the reality of it, and it's funny that most people who aren't musicians, I find, don't realize that either. They're like, "Oh, we just hit, I think, 3,500 monthly listeners on our new single," and I was posting about it, and they're like, "Oh man, that's awesome! You must be like making it. You can quit your job soon." I'm like, "Oh,
oh, that's probably about 10 cents, isn't it?"
Yeah, no, exactly, right. And it's like, no, man, I'm gonna be working at a pizza shop for years before that happens.
Yeah, I think gone are the days when somebody becomes a musician with the idea of becoming a millionaire. I mean, well, it's really gone. You have to do it for passion, don't you?
Yeah, no, and I think my main goal is not to like be rich or anything. I just want to be able to pay my rent and eat food,
Yeah, and entertain people.
Completely. Yeah, no, like obviously that's the passion, right? Like on the passion side of it, I want to do it all the time just because I love being up on stage, and it's like a high when I get up there, like I'm an addict. But no, it'd be nice if I could, not work a job I have to keep being stuck in to pursue music, right? And I could actually pour myself more into the music as work, right? But
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't have it all, can we?
Yeah. No. One day. But,
absolutely. If we move on to the business side of things, we've touched on this earlier. What sort of steps are you taking to sort of promote yourselves, like not only in Canada but worldwide? But what are you doing behind the scenes there?
Yeah. So it's weird. I talk to a lot of people, and it seems I naturally have a knack for business, which is not too normal, I've discovered. But I don't mind sitting there for 8 hours just emailing people. And I think that's just because I'm neurotic about music. But we actually just signed a 3-year distribution deal with MTX Music, which is really good. And they're awesome. And they've really helped us figure out, like, okay, we need to have a marketing plan. I find a lot of musicians just kind of release it and they really hope that people are going to take to it naturally, and that's amazing. And it's a nice organic feeling, and it worked in the 70s, and the 80s and the 90s bit, but no, it doesn't work anymore. You know, you got to shove that shit in everyone's face. So social media is really good because you can do marketing campaigns with that. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then also contacting other artists that have playlists and stuff like that, or really just your local network. Like, you could find somebody that knows someone, right? You just got to work on really talking to people and being like, hey, have you heard of anyone who has a playlist or a podcast or something like that? Even if you see a big like page or something on Facebook or something like that, and you think they're not going to answer your message, try, you know.
Well, you got nothing to lose, have you?
Yeah. There's a podcast we're going to be featured on upcoming here, and I messaged him. I was like, oh, there's no way in hell, not at all, you know. But he's local and he pays attention to local stuff, so that's coming up there. And he messaged me like that, you know. And it's just a matter of try. Like, people will support you if you ask for it. It's not going to happen. They're just going to be like, oh yeah, like they'll like the song, or maybe, you know, sometimes they're like, this song's so good, I'm going to show everyone. But if you bring it to them, the chances of that happening are way higher. So I feel like doing that, and then also presenting yourself well. Like, I know it's rock and roll and you don't need to be all clean cut, but have an idea of what you want your band to look like and what you want to be. Like, what's your vision? Because if one day you're dressing up in cowboy boots and a little vest and Daisy Dukes, you know, and the next day you're like in all black, all thrash metal makeup, like, yeah, you gotta.
There's got to be a consistency of the image, hasn't there? You know.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it comes to the, like, I'm not trying to bag on anyone who wants to experiment with their music or their genre as well, but you also got to make sure you have a consistent sound that your fan base can really jive with. Because our song that we just released, Run, it's really kind of modern rocky, and it's got the nice hard hitting chorus, the good solo, stuff like that. And then our next song's a bit heavier, but we didn't venture too far off. You know, it's not going to be Brazilian scream metal. It's still going to be modern rock. Yeah. That'd be cool, and I love that stuff. But it's you just got to realize when it calls for stuff like that. Like, maybe if I wanted to transition to that eventually, but yeah, no. And I feel like also lots of musicians are like, oh, I'm an artist, I'm creative, and don't show their real side of a personality, right? Like, I'm sitting here talking to you, and I'm talking to you like I would be talking to my buddy having a beer.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
No, so I really feel like not too many people, like, they think not being authentic helps because that's what it looks like in the big leagues. But you gotta try sometimes. I don't know. That's what I've found personally, is being authentic, and we're just kind of down to earth, and we just love music, and that's kind of our thing. And whereas lots of bands are like, we hate this or we hate that, and that's kind of our personality, or like, we love this, and it's great. But yeah, no, it's just be yourself kind of thing, and people tend to dig it, and as long as you know what to do with it and present it, like, it works out. Where we got so as well as UK and like Australia and Germany, our drummer, he used to be a musician in the Philippines because that's where he's from, and lots of his previous fan base is hopping on just because they like us, and he's just always been like, yeah guys, I do music and that's it. He's not like, oh, I left that project because fuck them and now I'm here in Canada doing this, you know. He's just like, no, I just moved and doing this now, and people still dig it.
Well, I think that's the important thing. You've got to identify with your fans, you know, and it's so important these days. You know, I was talking to someone recently about, you know, that once upon a time there was that mystique about rock bands, you know. They never actually sort of shook hands, glad-handed with their, you know, with their fans.
Yeah.
Either before or after a gig. Nowadays, that mystique has gone because there's no room for it. Because you've got to communicate with fans directly through social media.
Yeah.
When you're at a gig, you know, you're going to be there in the crowd afterwards, you know.
Yeah. No,
selling merch and shaking hands, you know.
Yeah, no, and
not quite kissing babies, but you know.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's the way to go, because like, it used to be like rock and roll gods, you know, Jimi Hendrix, Lemmy, Eric Clapton, stuff like that. But with social media, it's really like room to show yourself more. And it's a great opportunity too for things to be different, because all those rock and roll gods ended up being drug addicts because they're so depressed because they can't relate to their fans, and they're just sitting
That's
there
right.
feeling like they're being stared at, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good opportunity and a good direction for art to go in. And I think the only thing that needs to happen next is really for like fans are starting to realize and starting to bitch at Spotify and big players like that for not paying artists. And people are really realizing with COVID too that, oh, we need entertainment, we need stuff to keep us happy, and these guys are willing to provide it, but
Yeah.
we need to show them that we care enough by actually, you know, helping them not be homeless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, selling merch and this sort of thing,
Yeah.
you know, even let's face it, you can't set a merch table up, you know, from home so easily as you can at a gig. But
Yeah. But and that's another thing too. You can set up a merch site. Like
yeah,
business wise, you gotta know, like the Bandcamp's a great one. You
yeah,
can sell. We put our tracks up on Bandcamp, and yeah, you could go and stream our song on Spotify for free, and that's fine too. We love that. But if you're willing to do extra support of any band, go on their Bandcamp and pay $2, you know, and do it on the Bandcamp day where they waive royalties. That even helps. Or oh, they have vinyls and merch up too. You can order it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there's so many ways to support bands. You just got to search for it. And like, that's one thing I've noticed. Like, I listen to a lot of spoken word with Henry Rollins and stuff like that in interviews, just because he's always been a hardworking rocker, and that's what I like. And he always has bought vinyls for years and years and years to support bands, because that's going straight into the pocket of the bands and helping them back.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I mean, I'm very much back into vinyl these days. You know, it's been a big
yeah,
resurgence. You know,
yeah.
it's not just a black disc anymore. You know, it's like spatter discs,
Oh,
gold,
it's cool.
transparent discs. You know, Blackstone Cherry just brought out their latest one on transparent vinyl. You know,
Nice.
hey, you know, it's all pretty cool stuff. It's
Yeah, no.
nice stuff. But you know, and it brings in the money, which is
Yeah.
what you need. But,
Yeah, no, exactly. And it costs about the same to make as a CD. Like if you're getting a lot of them, and you can even get a small amount pressed and go as your sales go on, instead of like killing yourself by ordering 500.
yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you do it on a pre-order basis, then you know exactly how many you're gonna need.
Yeah, no. So it works out, and that's yeah. And there's lots of sites for that, even aside from Bandcamp. You can do it for merch too, and you don't even need to get the clothes shipped to you. They just get shipped straight to the person ordering.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. We touched on social media. Would you like to tell people how they can find you on social media?
Yeah. So our best one that we're more up to date on is Instagram, and it's Collision Course Music, no caps, no spaces. And then Facebook, it's Facebook/Collision Course 604. And then Twitter is Collision Course, but instead of an E on the end, it's a 9. I got to work at that, but it's hard to snag usernames sometimes. There's an inactive account with our band name, and it's been for years now.
Yeah, I did notice that when I was looking on Facebook. There's some band called Collision Course that disbanded years ago. You know, so
Yeah.
they
It's
can't get it.
Yeah, we're the only one in Canada now, because there was another one in Canada, but I own the trademark. So, but
That's the
yeah,
way to go.
that's another thing with business too. Look into getting a trademark, great thing, or register as a business. But yeah,
Absolutely, it has to be done.
it does. That's the way it goes. And tax write-offs are great when you're registered as a business. Yeah, get a cool new amp, 80% off. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anton, it has been an absolute delight talking to you, mate. I wish you and the guys every success. Hopefully, we can see you over here before too long.
Yeah, for sure.
Be sure to let us know when you are coming over, because we'll make sure we push your shows.
Yeah,
and we'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.